been moved and seconded to accept the minutes. Roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock. Gary Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hoover.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Abstain.
Rex Beckman.
Aye. Okay, before we proceed into our normal scheduled business. Oh, where is Kathy?
Had a meeting.
Well, we're gonna wait, we will, whenever she comes in, or we can just do it all and then she gets
Will she be here shortly? Yeah.
Okay.
He knows about it.
Okay, well, we'll move on to resolutions. We'll go to resolution number, I saw you guys walk in, I just thought, she's back. Okay, resolution 02222022-1. A resolution, there you go. Resolution authorizing the expenditure of coronavirus local fiscal recovery funds for the acquisition of body worn cameras and amending the city's rate plan for expenditure. Whereas the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, ARP, was enacted on March 11, 2021, and whereas ARP, among other things, established a coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund, which provides for the disbursement of revenue from the United States Treasury to local governmental units to assist local governmental units in remedying the negative fiscal impacts stemming from COVID-19 public health emergency. Whereas the coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund established under 42 USC 803 provides for distribution of revenue to non-entitlement units of local government such as the city of Newcastle, Indiana. Whereas revenue received from the coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund may only be utilized for the specified purposes set forth in 42 USC 803 C, and whereas one of the permitted uses of funds received is to respond to the public health emergency with respect to COVID-19 or its negative economic impacts, and whereas the Department of Treasury has adopted a final rule regarding the expenditure of revenue, which recognizes that the pandemic has exacerbated the effects of crime, and whereas the city of Newcastle wishes to acquire body worn cameras and related software equipment from members of its police department, whereas the acquisition of body worn cameras will improve the efficiency of the police department and its efforts to reduce crime, and whereas prior to expending revenue received from the coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund, the city of Newcastle must develop a written plan for expenditure. Now therefore be ordained by the Common Council of the City of Newcastle, Indiana as follows. The Common Council hereby appropriates a sum of up to $100,000 from revenue received through the coronavirus fiscal recovery fund for the acquisition of 29 body-worn cameras, related service and software for use by the police department to be paid for full at the time of acquisition and installation. 2, the written fiscal plan for the expenditure of revenue received from the coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund is attached hereto as Exhibit A. The remaining sums received by the city of Newcastle from the coronavirus local fiscal recovery fund may be utilized for any purpose set forth in 42 USC 803. The written plan for expenditure will be amended from time to time as determined by the Common Council in advance of any other expenditures. And prior to prior to this moving past,
No, I think you just move past the resolution, so that didn't amend the fiscal.
well, the one thing we want to do, well, we talked in finance committee, we feel that we have a limit here of, I believe it's 29 cameras, and we want to be given the ability to.
Okay.
So
sure.
desire. So
You need to move to amend that.
I'm going to move to amend this, to change the acquisition of 29 body worn cameras related equipment to the acquisition of up to 32 body worn cameras. Yes, that's good. It's seconded, so we need to vote on that.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Gary Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hoover. Lynn Purdue. Rex Beckman.
Aye. And so then I'll move that we pass this resolution.
You gotta come and visit us. Come on,
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded, roll call vote. please.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock. Gary Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hoover.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Beckman.
Aye. move away from our agenda, now that one of our guests of honor is here. I almost did this without you being here.
We saw Dennis and Sarah thought you
I thought they came in, I thought, well, Kathy must be there, because you're always kind of together.
You guys come on out.
Come on up here.
Wow.
Come on up, Sarah.
I know my.
We'll stand right here, okay?
Fine. Kathy, if you want to come up. There are several things that I'm going to give you the first thing, and I think Patty's got a few little gifts for you. And, but about 16 or 17 years ago? 15. It seems like longer.
I know.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Anyway, I think I first probably met you about 17 years ago at school. And you came there and gave us a little seminar. And little did I realize after, and I did learn a lot in that seminar, but little did I realize after just how many hours I would spend listening to you speak. In various, either on the phone or, in a seminar situation or working on Stellar. But, and when I say this, it's not just Kathy, it's Dennis too, because Dennis is taking in Sarah. You've all become an integral part of our community. You've been involved in so many different things, from developing this trifold to Stellar to the land bank. Thanks, Jerry. Sometimes I haven't seen them all. But
You are a senior.
yeah, at least. But anyway, you've all meant just so much to our community. We really appreciate you. We love you. We would not be where we are today without your contributions. And so we have a plaque that says, Dennis and Kathy Hamilton, may the road rise up to meet you, may the wind be always at your back, may the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. And it says you will always have a place in the castle.
Call me. My cell phone is 898 566.
Miss Sarah was saying to come visit her, and you have
Miss Sarah,
oh my goodness.
Good
Go on,
for you,
Sarah.
I brought you some flowers.
It's not my birthday.
She has to do it on her birthday.
Oh, it's not your birthday? Oh, March 1st, right?
Tuesday.
Okay. And then,
She can open that on her
and
birthday.
then this right here.
We'll make sure she
Thank
gets on
you,
her birthday.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
And then I brought you some flowers.
Until my birthday.
I worked really hard with these flowers, but you notice they're all different.
Yeah.
And they're all colors. And that's what you brought.
Yeah.
And then, as you travel down the road, I brought Mr. Dennis. So if you get lost in the big city, help you send it off. And this year I have one
I remember where it comes from.
That's right.
Well, thank
We've
you.
really enjoyed you.
Yes. Yeah.
A few minutes, you can.
Well, I just want to say about the land bank, I'm so thrilled with the land bank. And we've got Jerry and Mike here who's on it. And it's something I want to thank the council and the mayor for going out there, and I think they're way ahead of most communities. And I really think that that's the goal, I think, for the land bank is to be able to consult the other. We're starting to move along, thanks to the leadership of these guys and people. So it's always a benefit to have a great group of people around you when you have a committee like that. And that's what we have, so, thank you again.
Thank you.
I'm very well. Well, now, this is where somebody says you only have 5 minutes.
Great. Not that we knew you were coming, Kathy, but we're ready for you.
Change the rules. Well, I didn't have time to fold these, but I just couldn't resist.
It's okay.
I will let you do this, and I'm not gonna talk a lot, but I just wanna tell you this. I pulled this out, this is 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, Greg had just become mayor, and, so he wanted a grant, and I said, I don't think they'll give it to us if we don't have a comprehensive plan. And he said, the first thing you gotta do is ask your community. So Jerry Cash and I asked 2 questions. What do you love about living here? And that's when we realized that people saw themselves regional. They said, what do you love about living in Newcastle? They said, we really like Summit Lake. That's not in Newcastle. We really like Hoosier Gym. That's not in Newcastle either. But they had lots of things they loved, and this is a fun piece to read, just the things they love. And then we said, what would make it even better? And what I just will tell you to do is take a moment and go and put check marks by the stuff, because what happened is with partners, the city did a bunch, nonprofits did a bunch. There's some things still to be done. There's some things still to be done, but my goodness. And when we brought this in February of 2013, the council at that time unanimously said, we're going to accept that. And you know, it's one thing to say, I'm going to accept that, but vision without action is an hallucination. And so what people did is they put action behind it, and I think you can be really proud. There's some things yet to do. The only thing that we changed from this over these 10 years is the original said renovate or enhance Broad Street. Now it says Main Street project. So I think we'll just have fun checking off. Did that, did that, did that. And then the things that aren't checked off, just go after them, because we did give you till 2028 to pull the whole thing off. Our honor to be here. I'm the one that's on the way out. I'll have my foot sticking out the door track. We did not anticipate this, but we have 2 daughters, and most of you have never met the youngest one. Dennis calls her Kathy Jr. You say that with love, right, Dave?
Yes, dear.
What do you do with him? What do you do with him? And most of you do know that we endured an extraordinary medical emergency with our baby. And we were told that she would have death. And God writes the last chapter. And I kept praying for her to be healed. Finally, I prayed for her to have peace. And that's hard to get to, because that could have been death. And instead, she's joyful. She invites you to visit her. She gives you her phone number. And her baby sister said, Mom, I can't help with her 12 hours a day. Grandchildren. I cannot argue the wisdom of that. So I'll give you back your meeting, and I just want you to know there are a few projects I want you to finish. I can hear them right now. This red top piece right here, it says state-of-the-art early education center. I can tell you tonight that Hope Initiative, in partnership with their director, has written $700,000 in grants to get new slots for little ones certified throughout the county. We'll open one on 21st Street in April. I won't be here. It doesn't matter. It's going to open. It's going to be fabulous. 32 kids can find a new place. So take care of your babies. If you don't take care of your babies, they grow up to be your employees. And you can't throw a rock if you didn't tend them as they were growing up. You just can't. Finish that expo. Get it done. That's about youth also. And then I guess the last thing I would say to you is, be kind to each other. This journey can be hard. We've gotten pretty costly as a nation. So we're gonna have that on purpose. So my honor to identify the city and thank you for always letting me stand here as long as I wanted
You guys are welcome to stay, or you can leave anytime you want to leave. But thank you, Kathy. We just want you to remember where home is. You know, that's why you came back this time, because you remembered where your roots were, and growing up, this will always be home. And we want you to always think of this home. So just because you're moving to another state, that doesn't mean that this isn't still home. We appreciate everything that you've done. I do have to say, that first meeting that I sat in and we did the pool tabs.
Post-it notes.
Yeah, those. It is statewide, knows how bad I hate those. Because I felt like I was so far ahead of the game, because you was the first one that showed that to us and taught us how to do that. So all the rest of them were just copycats. I appreciate everything that you brought to us, both of you, Dennis. We're gonna miss you on the land bank. It's some good things that happened just here recently, and I hope you feel good about it, because you are a main staple in that. So thanks for starting that for us. It is going to be huge. So we miss you already, but you're always going to be a part of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone get a cookie because the cookies are leaving the building.
Well, the party started. I've already got my cookie half baked. This is it.
Okay, now we'll move on to ordinance 3872. This is ordinance establishing waiting period for employees of the city of Newcastle County and January 1st, 2022, and continuing thereafter. Date of the common council of the city of Newcastle, Indiana, the following shall be the hourly wages and regular salaries of various employees of the city of Newcastle, Indiana. All departments of the city are eligible for the following: part-time, seasonal, or temporary, submitting salary ordinance. 2 laborers, $16 hourly, 3 truck drivers, $7.50. Working departments designated later, 25 cents hourly extra, aside discretion of department head. Negotiating departments through are eligible for the following: taking pay of 60 cents an hour will be assigned to harassment contract. I'm not going to go through and read every single one of these here. Basically, there had to be tell me if I'm wrong, but there had to be a minimum of this, because there were a couple of places where we need to catch some things. Anyway, I'm going to move to pass ordinance 3872 on the first reading. It's been moved and seconded. Roll call. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock. Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens. Mark Hoser. Richard Reed. Rex Beckman.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for second reading.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hoser. Lefty Duke. Rex Beckman.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to second reading.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded for second reading of ordinance 3872. Roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hoser. Lefty Duke. Rex Beckman.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for the third reading.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to suspend rules for third reading. Roll call vote, please.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hoser. Lefty Duke.
Aye.
Rex Beckman.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion for the third final reading of 3872.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded for the third reading on ordinance 3872. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hoser. Lefty Duke. Rex Beckman.
Aye. So it's passed. Brings ordinance 3878. This is the sidewalk repair and replacement program. Basically, this is amending our old ordinance. ordinance amending chapter 98.49 of the Newcastle City Code. And the part change basically is subsection H will replace with the following text: the clerk treasurer should allocate an amount sufficient to increase the balance of the sidewalk construction repair and replacement non-reverting fund to the sum of $50,000. Subsection 98.49 should be replaced with the following text: the Board of Works shall utilize this sum to fund the sidewalk improvement program. The Board of Works shall make it known that the city of Newcastle is providing a match of not greater than 75% of the cost of the repair project, or $1,000, whichever is less. Property owners who wish to make improvements, repair, replacement, anything in their sidewalks, everything else in that code is still in effect. I move we pass this amendment, ordinance 3878 on first reading.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Okay, been moved and seconded.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hover. Lynn Purdue. Brett Spector.
Aye. Okay, so that's passed on first reading.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules on second reading.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules. Any discussion? Any roll call vote, please?
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hover. Lynn Purdue. Brett Spector.
Aye.
Make a motion for second reading.
Second. It's been moved and seconded, pass this ordinance on second reading. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hover.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Brett Spector.
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for the third reading.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules on the third reading. Roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock. Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hover. Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Brett Spector.
Aye. Okay.
I'd like to make a motion for third and final reading for 3878.
Second. Been moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Terry Walden. Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Mark Hover. Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Brett Spector.
No, aye.
I got choked because I was gonna say, everybody's gonna love this, except the person that we passed this morning for $500.
Yeah.
We approved it. They'd have been better off if they'd waited until tomorrow.
Okay. That's waiting. All right, now we're through resolutions and ordinances. We're going to go to committee reports. Mr. Guffey?
No, I just want to say thanks on the sidewalk. That'll be huge, I think. I think the residents will, I hope, buy into it. Who knows, it might even grow from what's going on.
Thanks for bringing it up.
You're welcome. Also, I'd like to thank Councilman Dickens for letting me hang out with him at the Ames thing. It was awesome. Unfortunate, not everyone showed up. I mean, as far as our big elected officials. But
I'm sorry I couldn't be there. Oh, you're not talking about waiting. You're talking about
you know what I'm talking about.
You're talking about waiting.
But it was good. I had a good time. Got to meet some other people. But we'll just continue to do what we do. We'll just continue to call these people and let them know what our feelings really are. So, but thanks, Aaron, for doing the drive and chauffeuring me around. That's all I have.
Mr. Hancock?
I would just like to have a moment of silence to remember Bud Ayers.
Have a moment of silence.
Thank you. That's all.
Okay, Mr. Wall?
Just an update on the railway, as you know, Dennis is leaving, so we'll come up with a replacement for him. And we now have Mark Cronk as president of the land bank, and we have 4 positions to fill. We'll get those filled. Just give you an update, we're now over $28,000 in our account, going from zero. So it's moving right along.
Mr. Dickens?
Just echo what Mr. Guffey said. Really enjoyed heading to Indianapolis with him, and like he he said it was enjoyable to talk with Representative Saunders. I mean, he had his retirement recognition that morning. I actually made a joke to him that he didn't get. They introduced Governor Holcomb, and I said next to Frank O'Bannon, he was my favorite Democratic governor, but he didn't seem to find humor in that. It is a shame, and I actually called the mayor before we left to make sure that I wasn't going to put my foot in my mouth. It was a shame that we heard from both Senator Lysing's office and Senator Rox's office that they were going to be there. I know things come up, but they weren't there, and we don't hear from our state elected officials throughout the year, it sounds like, and I know that's the same down in Rushville and Rush County. So I don't know that we're improving with these new lines being drawn, but hoping for some positive change in the next year or so. And what I really like about the AIM network is that it allows you to do that, network with other elected officials, both on the local level and the state level. So I was able to give some letters appealing to the General Assembly to not pass House Bill 1134. I gave those to a senator up in Hamilton County and J.D. Ford, and also got to talk with Representative Austin out of Anderson about the income tax cap bill that I think did not go through. And there's also a bill, I think it's in the House now, that would eliminate the food and beverage tax. I don't know what's going to happen. It's hard to keep a pulse on those things, but to have an outlet to talk to those types of people and that will listen to our local issues, because we know not all of them do, is really important. So I'm glad that Mike could join me, and that's all I have.
Okay, Mr. Coder, I have nothing. Mr. Purdue? I have nothing. Okay, I've just got a couple of things. In our riverboat fund, we have a couple of items that are earmarked with money set aside that we need to basically just probably do with probably some voice vote, I imagine. But we have 30,000 set aside for BDP round 2, and BDP's been done for quite some time, and that money is not needed. And then the other one was $175.84 for equipment for streaming meetings, and Mr. Dickey got us that equipment that's cheaper than what we thought. So we've got $175.84 left over from the money we earmarked there. So I'm going to move that we undo those earmarks so that that money can go back as part of the overall riverboat fund. So, anybody second that? Second. Well, let's do a voice vote. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay. The second, the other item, I asked Mr. Barker to come up. We talked, and I think most everybody on the council was somewhat in favor of redoing the sidewalk on Main Street from to M Avenue to I Avenue. It's along the side where the Babe Ruth Diamond, Little League Diamonds are. It's our property, so we're not going to get into a thing where somebody says, well, you're replacing their sidewalk. It's our sidewalk. We're responsible. It's not in very good shape. Mr. Barker came up with a number that he thinks is a pretty good number, $78,000. So I'd like to, the next meeting, put that in a resolution, much like we did the body cams, for that money to come out of ARP to replace that sidewalk. The other thing that we talked about is finishing up the police department building down at the old RMC property. Mr. Barker seems to think that if we earmark $350,000, that should be able to complete the work, possibly have the money to do the parking lot as well. The parking lot is terrible, so that needs to be done. And then once we do that, the board of works can take bids for that work and hopefully get it done sometime sooner rather than later. So anyway, does anybody have any objections to putting those two things in a resolution for next meeting to get the ball rolling on that? We'll still have a significant, right now we've got, I think, around 1.3 million still, so this would come out at 1.3 million, but we're not bumping up against the top of that way again.
As a sport of Little League program, we were having state championships this year, so I think it's a very important spruce that everyone else. Thank you for bringing
Very much felt like. Okay, so Mr. Harden, sure. Okay, that's all I have, Your Honor. I'll turn it over to you for any reports we have or anybody else.
Anything from the police department today?
I just want to say thank you for approving the body cams, and the police department is certainly excited, so we'll be very excited to get body cams and hopefully continue to move forward on RMC. I do have one question. I greatly appreciate you increasing the number of cameras, but that's likely going to put us over $100,000. Do I need to give an updated quote back to the council?
Well, try to get, you could not get that many. You go down to like 30 or 30. Our idea was that if somebody were out there, their camera was broken, yeah, the company's going to replace it, but you really need to have one on hand.
Correct.
And so even if it's just one extra one, or, see what we can do, and if we need to, we can come back.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's all I have.
That's what we thought.
Mark? Yeah. Dave, bless you.
I don't know anything else.
Brett? Greg? Lee? Well, we've got plenty of potholes to fix, and we know there's some that's just unbearably bad, but probably the most embarrassing one is in front of Wilbur Wright School, in front of the parking lot. The road's just gone. I mean, it just, when it dries up, we'll throw some asphalt in it, but the plan is to, as soon as the large companies start coming to town, we need to replace the road from 18th Street to 20th Street. There's just literally nowhere to drive. They're driving up in the parking lot of the elementary school, driving over in the grassy part on the south side. So if you get some complaints there, we're on it. We're not dodging it in. We don't have potholes everywhere. Just tell them. Just send all the complaints you can here.
I've been explaining it as, with this wet weather, you fill it in, get cold temperatures coming down, that just pops out stuff.
Yeah.
So that's how I've been explaining it.
Although the roller does help. I mean, we do have the roller that helps more than it has in the past, but
They've been good about it.
just tell them to give us a call. It's not about getting on Facebook and complaining, because every other community is fighting this exact same thing. So we know about that. Just tell them to let us know about it. Give us exact addresses. They say, what's over on 25th Street? We're out on 25th Street. So just try to get them to come as close to the actual addresses that possibly can. All I have, unless anybody else has any questions.
Okay, we have any citizens wishing to come before the council? Go ahead.
I'll just add to Jerry's on the land bank. On Dennis's last day, we voted to sell a home, and we closed on that last Friday. So that's where a lot of that money came from. So got one house back on the tax rolls.
And we need to thank Jeff and Ken, they've been showing up to the meetings, and that's been very beneficial. I'm trying to improve our technology and stuff.
And I also want
Yes.
to say, I went to the food and beverage presentations for 2 nights. They were long nights, as everyone knows, but I was so proud to be a part of this community. Mayor York did a great job, Leonard did a great job, excuse me, Leonard did a great job, Mike did a great job for our parks, and Newcastle was well represented. And I'm hoping we get some well represented.
Lee, did you want to talk for 35, 40 minutes or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, adjourned, we're adjourned.
She is the one.
ballgame. Is this, who lost their cup? Is that Bev? Will you see her? Okay, thanks, Nick. Thank you much, girl.
Don't charge for it. How about your own?
No, Gina does. See you later. I won a game.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,